On your first night, they hand you a flashlight, a set of keys, and a logbook. Write everything down, they say, especially the leaks. It will take you 2 years to understand that sentence. The manager who hires you does the entire orientation in 11 minutes, walking fast, pointing at things without slowing down. Cameras that work, cameras that don't, the switchboard, the master key that opens everything except the office you'd eventually most want to open. The last guard quit without notice, mid-shift, 3 weeks ago. Nobody mentions why, and his locker is still full, which you notice and decide not to think about. Your job, as explained, walk the building twice a night, check the doors, and log anything unusual. Write everything down, the manager says again, tapping the logbook, especially the leaks. Head office reads every page. It's February, and the Christmas decorations are still up, which the manager calls a scheduling thing. You do your first walk, and it's mostly fine. A big, tired building making big, tired building noises. You find one slow drip in a service corridor, third bucket someone's already placed there, and you log it, the way you were told, in your best handwriting, like a student who wants the teacher to like him. It feels like the smallest possible thing a person can do with a pen. You will fill 400 pages of that logbook before anyone tells you what it's actually for. By week 3, you know the building the way you know a song, not the words, the shape. You know the ice machine in the food court dumps its tray at 3:14 every morning with a crash that sounds exactly like someone coming through a window, and you know it well enough now that you don't even look up. That's the thing nobody tells you about security work. The loud noises are never the problem. The loud noises are the building being alive. You know the mall walkers arrive at 6 before any store opens. 4 elderly regulars doing laps with the intensity of people training for something, and that they were described to you in orientation as the unauthorized entry issue. You unlock the door for them anyway. The fountain gets drained in March for maintenance. You log the date. It does not get refilled, and you log that too in April. And then you stop logging it because how many times can you write down that a fountain is still empty? The pretzel stand owner starts leaving you 1 pretzel wrapped in wax paper on the security desk. You never see him do it. It's the best part of a job you're surprised to find you don't hate. The drip in the service corridor is on its 5th bucket, and you're the only person in the building who knows that. The anchor store announces it's leaving on a Tuesday through a press release nobody shows you. You find out from the mall walkers, who know everything first. It takes 6 weeks for the store to empty, and 1 night for the crane to take the letters off the facade. You watch from the parking lot at 2 a.m., which is somehow the only appropriate time to watch a thing like that. And afterward, the wall has a shadow outline where the name used to be, a ghost in slightly less faded paint. Foot traffic was already thin. Now the west entrance count drops to numbers you can memorize. Stores start leaving the way teeth come out, one at a time, each one making the remaining ones look worse. You keep attaching maintenance requests to your log pages, the drip, the dead lights, the crack above the west doors. Nothing gets fixed. But the log itself comes back every week, every page stamped, received, facilities planning, which you take as proof that someone, somewhere, is at least reading. You are, at this point in the story, still choosing to find that comforting. You've started to notice that the only thing in this building that gets maintained is the paperwork. Somewhere in the second autumn, you cross a line you don't log. You start fixing things yourself. Small things. A door that won't latch, which is a security issue, so that one's arguably your job. Then the flickering tube light outside the pretzel stand, because the man gives you pretzels and deserves working light. Then the bucket corridor. You reroute the drip with a taped gutter of cut plastic sheeting off the walkway into a drain, an act of unlicensed civil engineering that you're honestly a little proud of. None of this appears in the log. The log gets the damage. It doesn't get the repairs, partly because you're not sure you're allowed to make them, and partly because of something you couldn't articulate yet. Some instinct that the log and the building are on different teams. The escalators get switched off in October permanently with a laminated sign that says, "Escalator closed for your convenience," and the food court is down to 3 vendors, and you now wear your winter coat over the uniform inside the building because heating entire wings for one man with a flashlight stopped making sense to someone in an office you've never seen. The instinct about the log was correct. You just had the teams wrong. In November, the roof over the east wing stops negotiating. You come in at 10 and hear it before you see it. Water, moving with intention. A sound a building should not make. 2 inches deep across 40 meters of concourse, coming through in 4 places. The drip corridor now something closer to a feature. And here is the moment. Though you won't recognize it as the moment for months. You do your job. You photograph it. You measure it. You write it up the way 2 years of practice taught you. Precise, dated, thorough, your best handwriting, the most professional document you have ever produced. You file it before dawn. Within a week, the east wing is roped off behind plastic sheeting, emergency lighting only. 11 stores relocated or released from their leases. Everyone agrees the report left no room for argument. That's the phrase the manager uses. Not quite looking at you. No room for argument. You wrote it well. That's the part you'll keep coming back to. They call you in during the day, which is how you learn the mall has a daytime, and it's spring outside, and the management office, the one door your master key never opened, turns out to be ordinary. Carpet, laminate desk, a man you've never met who knows your name. He wants to thank you for the East Wing report. It's open on his desk, highlighted, and under it, a binder, tabbed and thick, and the tab you can read upside down says, Asset Decommissioning. And inside, as he flips for another document, you see them. Your pages, photocopied, months of them. Your handwriting, annotated in someone else's pen, exhibits in a file whose purpose is the orderly, well-documented, legally defensible closure of this property. The drip, the fountain, the crack above the west doors. Every page stamped facilities planning, which you finally hear correctly. Not the department that fixes the building, the department that plans what replaces it. Nobody lied to you. That's the elegant part. They just let you believe that recording a decline and fighting one were the same activity. You walk your rounds that night in a building you suddenly can't look at, holding a logbook you suddenly understand. The next page is blank, and it's due in the morning. The renewal form sits on the security desk for 4 days. Your contract, extended through final closure, 8 more months, sign here. You sit with what you now know. The log is a death certificate written in installments, and you are its clerk. And if you quit, they'll hire someone who never met the pretzel man, who'll write it worse but write it all the same, and the building will die identically either way. That's the whole truth, laid out flat, nothing hidden from yourself anymore. And you sign it. Not because you've made peace, but because somebody is going to walk this place to the end, and you'd rather it be someone who knows which noises are the ice machine. You keep writing the log, and you keep it honest. Every leak, every crack, because false hope in that binder helps no one and delays no bulldozer. But the liquidation payouts for the last 11 tenants are calculated off the documented condition, and your thorough pages are, in the final accounting, the best evidence they have. The pretzel stand closes in June. He gives you the sign, the actual sign, pretzels, hand-painted, and shakes your hand, and you put it in the locker that still has the last guard's things, which you finally understand completely. The final walk is scheduled for a Thursday, because even endings get filed under ordinary days. The last month is you and a building and a checklist of shutdowns, a mall being powered down in sections, like a ship, like a patient. The second winter, you do the final walk on the scheduled Thursday. 412 doors, everyone locked by hand, everyone logged. Your last entries in a logbook that has become, without anyone planning it, the most complete biography this building will ever have. The fountain, dry 2 years now. The shadow name on the anchor wall. The taped plastic gutter in the service corridor, still working, still routing water nobody will ever slip on again. Your one repair, outliving the building's whole maintenance department. You bring the logbook to the office to hand it in, and while the man looks for the receipt form, you see the archive box behind his desk, open, half-packed. Inside, logbooks. Not yours. Older, other handwriting, same discipline, same one-line entries about leaks and locks. A different mall's name on the covers. Same owner. Some other night guard, some other 2 years, filed and finished. Yours will go in the same box. Outside, in the parking lot, the man catches up to you. There's a position opening across town, he says. Night shift. A newer property, still busy, still alive, and they'd like someone experienced, someone with your eye for detail. He says that last part like a compliment, because it is one. And you stand there holding a hand-painted pretzel sign and one key they let you keep, understanding your actual profession for the first time. You don't guard buildings. You keep them company. You tell them you'll think about it. You've already decided. Some jobs you take because of the pay, and some because somebody should know which noises are just the building being alive. Right up until the night it isn't.